and all that crap. So right now, Spawn and Savage Dragon is up around 250. Those are the longest running comics right now, and they're both Image comics because DC rebooted in 2011 with the New 52, and Marvel seems to reboot or not reboot, but relaunch every series every 6 months or so. So you've got Spawn and Savage Dragon, which have been running steadily for 20 years. Because it was over 20 years. Because it was around 93 or 94 that Image was formed.
Okay, but the question is, with it being the longest running comic, does that increase the value of Spawn #1?
No. Stop it.
Kids never get this excited about cleaning teeth.
We're going through this again.
But dogs do. Watch them go wild, friend.
Watch them go wild.
Let's try it. Okay, there we go.
Are we done now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Spreaker.
But it is, whether you look at it as being the longest current running superhero comic or not, it's definitely one of the longest running independent comics ever. And Comixology is running some specials, of course, when they're introducing these. They're running a couple specials with different bundles up through Sunday. So go get you some Spawn. As we teased in the beginning of the show, a big name has signed an exclusive contract with one of the big two. Eisner Award-winning writer Brian Michael Bendis has signed a new exclusive contract with Marvel Comics. There have been many that have been speculating that he would go on. He's got a couple other things going on. He's executive producer of the new Powers show that is on the PlayStation Network. Powers is a book that he's been doing. It actually started in Image Comics, and it crossed over to be published by the Icon imprint at Marvel Comics. Icon is their publishing imprint for creator-owned comics, not part of the Marvel line, but stuff that is creator-owned. The Powers TV show is being produced and will be the first original program that the PlayStation Network has. I'm not sure when it debuts. I haven't been really paying attention to that because I don't have PlayStation Network, so I won't be able to watch it. But there'd been a lot of speculation that he may leave comics and go do other stuff like that. But he's put those rumors to bed by signing this contract. He's been really synonymous with the modern Marvel era, working on pretty much all of the biggest titles at Marvel, and also introduced Miles Morales, who is the new Ultimate Spider-Man. And he'll begin his new contract by bringing the Ultimate Universe to an end as part of the Secret Wars. He'll be writing the mini-series, Secret Wars: The Ultimate End, which will, as we talked about before, after Secret Wars. Actually, no, we haven't talked about it because we were on our sabbatical when they made the announcement. After Secret Wars, there will be no Marvel Universe and Ultimate Universe. Going forward, they'll be combined into one. How that affects some of the characters, we'll have to see. Especially Miles Morales, because he's been one of the most popular characters to come out of the Ultimate Universe. So I really hope they keep him around, find a way to keep him around, which I guess will just kind of mean he integrates into the regular Marvel Universe. So whether he may become another Spider character. He obviously, Peter Parker's here, so he's not going to be Spider-Man. But there's a lot of clones of Peter running around that just use different spider-themed names.
Spider-Man.
It's Irving Spider-Man.
So it's kind of like being attacked by Elvis in
Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's
Elvis.
There's Scarlet Spider. There's, of course, Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 2099, who is actually in our time now. So there's a bunch of different variations and guys who clones, like I said, of Peter Parker that have become their own hero, like slight variations of Spider-Man. So hopefully Miles Morales is kept around after Secret Wars is over. They've also updated the Battle World map, showing us a few new areas that will be important to the crossover event. Egyptia, which is based on the Forever Yesterday timeline. The Regency, inspired by Spider-Man's One More Day event. 2099, obviously inspired by the 2099 line of comics. Hala Field, which is inspired by Captain Marvel. The Wastelands, which is the timeline of Wolverine's Old Man Logan. And if you've never read Old Man Logan, it's a very interesting. It's a future timeline where the United States is separated into different, basically like very large states, each one run by a different warlord, which are mostly, Marvel Comics villains. Like one area is Ultron's area, and one area is Mr. Sinister's, and the Hulk runs one big chunk of it too. The Hulk and his family. So that'll be a little interesting there. And there's also Perfection, which is based on the Age of Ultron timeline. New Xander, based on the Infinity Gauntlet event. And, unfortunately, New Quack City, inspired by Howard the Duck.
Oh, yes. What do you mean, unfortunately? What do you mean, unfortunately?
It's the opposite of fortunate.
The duck. The what?
Yikes.
You said it. About the unfortunate? I said it's the opposite of fortunately.
I think what would really, really get this thing over. Make it huge.
Howard the Duck in it.
Make it huge. No. Just give a little strip of land and call it Otisburg.
Otisburg. Otisburg.
It's just a little strip of land, Mr. Luthor.
Oh, I love that movie. Coming out of the Spider-Verse event,
yes,
there's a lot of buzz surrounding the new Spider-Gwen series that is starting up. Spider-Gwen is actually an alternate universe where Peter Parker didn't get bit by the spider. His girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, did. So she becomes the, for lack of a better term, Spider-Woman of that universe. And they're calling her Spider-Gwen. That was a character that was introduced in Spider-Verse, and it got such a huge response that they kind of took it on the fans took it on their own to demand this series. It's now coming out. It's actually hitting well over 200,000 copies, which is huge in this market right now. So it's going to be a huge debut for Spider-Gwen. It's hard to say for some reason. It's written by Jason Latour, art by Robbie Rodriguez, and colored by Rico Renzi, who is a local guy to us here in Charlotte. He works at Heroes Aren't Hard to Find, the comic book store in Charlotte.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
No, Rico that works there at Heroes is the colorist for Spider-Gwen. He also does Squirrel Girl and a couple other books.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And he was there at the Minicon this past weekend. Also coming out of that will be Silk. It's a series that follows a girl who, this is not an alternate universe. This is actual the Marvel universe. She was a girl who was bit by the same spider that bit Peter Parker, but she was kept in a bunker away from the world up until recently. So she's having to come to grips with her own powers and the outside world at the same time. She's just been in this bunker, able to watch TV for her entire life. So now she's out in the real world, and she has to deal with that, plus try to figure out what she's going to do and how to deal with her powers and all this stuff. And also, for some reason, anytime her and Peter are around each other, the spider pheromones go crazy, and they, like, jump each other. Bow chicka pow.
Yes.
So that is coming. I think that's coming out next month. Spider-Gwen, I believe, is coming out Tuesday. It's very soon because they're doing an event there at Heroes as a big debut for it. In Marvel's new Star Wars line of comics, Darth Vader #1 has now reached over 300,000 in pre-orders, following Star Wars #1 last month that went over 1 million, and Princess Leia #1 that has sold over 200,000. So
help
Marvel's,
me, Obi-Wan, help me.
So Marvel, she doesn't need no help. She's over 200,000. Marvel's Star Wars line is obviously doing very well. There's a restored copy of Detective Comics #27 from May 1939, which is the first appearance of Batman. It is expected to fetch over $100,000 at a February 20th auction. So you were asking how you can make some money on your comics. That's how. Have one from 75 years ago.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the whole auction process. I was like, yeah, man, I'll let them auction them off.
Yeah, you can auction them off.
Spawn #1.
You're like 57 cents. At that same auction, there's a copy of Batman #1 from 1940 that is expected to bring in more than 65,000. So it's a little worse shape. I think it was CGC rated at 4.5. So it's not in great shape, but you think about it, I mean, it's a comic book that's 75 years old.
It's not going to be in great shape.
Yeah, it's a miracle that it's in, except for that one Action Comics that they found that was stored in a cedar chest at high altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a miracle that if it would be in good shape. But those are going to go on auction on February 20th. So get your checkbook. I'd love to have. If I had the cash, that's what I would do. I would have Detective Comics #27.
And your wife would kill you.
I'm saying if I had the money.
No, she'd still kill you if you had the money.
I'd pay her off. So here, dry your tears with this $100 bill. Now, actually, on a little more serious note, an update on Norm Brayfogle, who is a legend as far as is in comics and is specifically Batman. He's one of my favorite Batman artists. He had a stroke in December and was partially paralyzed on his left side, which is his drawing hand. He posted a video from the nursing home where he's living right now, showing his progress. He's in great spirits for a man who makes his living from the control of his hand, to have lost that. He's in remarkable spirits. He's able to stand and he's able to move his afflicted side. But he's in great spirits. He's talking about he possibly will try to learn with his right hand. He said that may be easier than trying to get his left hand to work properly again. And he's also talking about doing some writing. So he's spent his entire life drawing other people's characters. So maybe now he needs to write his own. He's got a couple of ideas, and some of them that has come from what he's going through now. So he said, in a way, this may end up being a really positive thing to happen. But there's a fund set up to help raise money for his treatments, which obviously it's going to get pretty pricey pretty quick. So I'm going to post a link on our Facebook page if you